So, Kristen Kosmas,
Serious.
thanks for being here with us today.
Thanks for having
We're
me.
really excited to get to chat a little bit about There and On the Boards TV and on the boards in general, things like that. So,
Great.
we're so excited for your show, which opens this weekend.
Thank you. I'm very excited also.
So, could we start with There? Can you tell us a little bit about the piece?
Yes. It started, I started writing it like 4 years ago now. And I was in grad school when I started writing it. And a lot of people for that couple years before that had been comparing my writing to Chekhov, which I found totally absurd because he's so associated with naturalism in the US. But I was really curious because it kept coming up. And so I started reading his plays again and finally arrived at the tremendous compliment that it is to be compared to him, and also started to see like, oh, right, that makes sense. And then when I was reading Three Sisters, I just, my first sort of like inspiration about the play was the character Vasily Vasilievich Solyony, who there is basically like his monologue, sort of. That's the foundation, the foundational conceit. In Three Sisters, everything he says brings every single conversation that's happening to like a grinding halt. And it's literally like everything just dies every time he talks, and the whole play has to sort of like start over again. And as a playwright, I thought it was hilarious and fascinating that Chekhov would I was like, is he doing that to himself, or is he allowing himself to do that? Like, make a structure, use a character as a structural device. I'm sure he didn't think of it like this at all, but I was like, he's using a character as a structural device for the purpose of like interruption and like beginning again, like fail, start over, like interrupt, disaster, start over, like non sequitur, nonsense, okay, start over. And I thought it was really funny and also really fascinating structurally. And so I set out to make a play that had that structure of just like constant having to begin again. And I had been for a long time wanting to make a solo piece, because I made a lot of solo work in the 90s, and it had been a long time since I'd done that. And every time I set out to make a solo show, the casts kept like growing, like, I don't know, like they had yeast all over, they just like kept expanding. So I really wanted to like be disciplined about making a solo piece that would just have to keep beginning again. And of course, immediately I was like, oh, but wouldn't it be beautiful if it was in English and Russian? And the Russian, in the beginning, I imagined the Russian text as sort of a very minimized kind of murmuring, like textural, sonic quality. But immediately then there were two actors on this stage of my imagination. But I was like, well, that's okay, because it's not really like they're not really a character. So I set out to write this solo piece, and it was terrible. It was so bad. I mean, the first drafts of it were so bad. But there was something in it that I just kept kind of coming back to it, and I kept wanting to work on it. So I think somewhere in the middle, at the very beginning, I invited Paul to, I was like, I'm writing this thing, I don't know, it's terrible, but will you let me read it to you and see if you think there's something there, and do you want to work on it with me? So he has been involved from the very beginning.